Good morning, football fans. And we are, of course, leading into week number 8. Welcome to the NFC Roundtable with the crew. We're going to go ahead and bring in the rest of the guys, even though I understand that I'm more than enough. Oh, boy, there's the old Packer backer himself.
What's up, Andy?
Morning, fellas. How we doing today?
Living, man, living. This is the longest.
That's how it should be. I should always be in the middle. The focal point of the whole thing.
Right. This is the longest NFL season of all time, literally.
When it comes to games, and we have 2 games. I guess it's 2 games that are going to have a specific impact on the overall outcome of the playoffs. We're working on the Bears. We're definitely working on the Bears, but if you like, we can actually immediately shoot out to NFC North. That way, we can kind of sort of talk about the 2 games that are going on in the NFC North.
That sounds good to me. But much like Chicago, the Bears are always under construction.
And, of course, welcome back. And, of course, Mr. Packer Brian.
Yes, sir.
Versus the Lions, first game.
Yeah.
Like this. Every time you got a team that's coming into Ford Field, Cardinals, for example, you think that the Cardinals are just going to wipe the floor with them. Next thing you know, hey, wait a minute, how do we just get blown out? You think that's going to be the case this week with Green Bay?
I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is, really the Packers got nothing to play for today, but I guess from what I'm reading, the starters want to play. They're getting Bakhtiari back today, so they want to get him in, at least see how the first half goes. If the Packers run it up in the first half, I could see it being a blowout, but basically it's just trying to keep the momentum going and not making it a 3-week vacation where they can get rusty.
I guess that's true.
Playing Bakhtiari.
What's that?
What's the point in playing him? Why risk it?
True, I know the LaFleur was discussing that with Aarron, but I think this is an Aaron Rodgers call. He wants to keep the momentum going, and it could backfire. I mean, last night I know when they were talking about the Cowboys, why are they playing their starters?
Why are they playing exactly?
Recently every team that has took a break and put their team on rest mode going into the playoffs hasn't fared very well in the last few years.
Yeah, getting back into game playing shape, that kind of thing, getting back into getting hit and things like that. I think that's part of the problem. You remember when they first started going with with the CBA, how you really can't hit during the week,
right?
Mm-hmm. And then with the first couple 3-4 weeks, people were dropping like flies.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course with the whole notion of the hits to the head, and the long-term effects of that, things like that. But it's just, it's just one of those things where, you just kind of got to get used to getting hit.
Yeah. But back to the game, it's just, they've got to be smart. Obviously, if somebody happens to go down for some strange reason, I think you're going to see LaFleur yank everybody. And that'd be the unfortunate thing. Just get through the first half, see how it goes is basically, I think, is what they're trying to do. And then it's probably going to be a Jordan Love and company second half. And who knows what, obviously when you're playing your second stringers, you're not going to have, obviously a good football club out there. And Detroit could take advantage of that. That's why if you look at the line for the game, it's only, I think it's like 2.5. So it's not like the Packers are going in there going to be running gangbusters on them. So,
well, what if it does turn into a game though?
Well, if it turns into a game, you can't count the Lions out, right? If the Packers are playing their backups,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If this turns into a game where all the starters want to, stay in to be able to actually pull this out, what are you going to do? Because again, that's the whole pride thing.
Right.
So if you got pride, you're like, hey, you know what, I want to finish the season 14-3, whatever the case, the record or whatever the record is. But next thing you know, the Lions come up with 21 points in the first half. You know, what are you going to do?
Well,
keep them in, you're going to drop them.
If I was just going to say, if the Lions go up big on, if the Lions if that happens, I think LaFleur still pulls them, and just say, hey, we're done.
You have to.
Yeah.
So then the Lions fans will all be cheering like Cowboy fans last night about how they beat the backups.
Oh, shots fired.
Oh, wait, sorry.
What's up, Billy Flores, the defense guy out in Chicago? He runs 1st and 10 tailgate. Andy, he's one of your brethren, talking about how horrible the season's been.
Oh, poor soul.
Do you think they get rid of Naggy before Monday? Or on Monday?
Well, so what? I'm not even sure when the game actually begins. So, but let's say you have like a 6 o'clock. The game's over at 6 o'clock. By the time they get back to Chicago, it's going to be 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. So probably right around the 10:01, 10:05 mark is probably when they'll. I think they're looking to kind of sort of move on from him somewhat quickly because again, like we were just talking about in the little opening here, he does not adjust to the quarterback and their skill set. So, for example, when we were talking about Green Bay, you know how much I just love talking about Green Bay. But that's exactly what their coach and their offense has been able to do is actually, play to Aaron Rodgers' strengths. So, Aaron Rodgers comes to you and says, hey, I want to do this and that and the other. He'd be like, you got it, champ. One of those things, whereas unfortunately Matt Nagy, he's the exact opposite. He'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm good at rolling out. I'm good at doing this. Like with Mitchell Trubisky, we were talking. So what does he do? Yeah, you are pretty good at rolling out. Yeah, we're going to run the ball. And we're going to do a little dipping and dunking all the way down the field until, our 3 and out. It's just not a good fit. And then, of course, Ryan Pace with the word, potentially.
He's getting promoted.
Failing upwards to be the new president, of course.
The front office has done great for the Bears.
I think your idea is great, and my idea are two different ideas.
Chicago is Virginia McCaskett. Somehow she's still alive. I don't wish death on anyone, but the game has passed her by like 6 decades ago.
Yeah, I don't even want to touch that one. But, but there is a possibility, that she could. And obviously, she's not active or anything like that. But her word, of course, is going to be law. So if she says get rid of Phillips, she says get rid of Pace, that kind of thing. If I had that much money, and if I was that old or whatever, I wouldn't care about anything either.
Now we're talking about Nagy being gone, so they keep Pace. Don't you think that's going to deter coaches to want to even coach there?
That's what Jared Payton in his tweet had mentioned, the fact that he had talked to several NFL teams and that they had mentioned, hey, if you keep Pace, you keep Phillips, you're not going to be able to get any top-notch, coaches and coordinators and things like that. And that's a very, very good point. Because if you always have that little micromanager or even a tenth of micromanaging to where he's like, you know what, I like this guy instead. Take, for example, Mitch Trubisky, who isn't really a bad quarterback. It's just I think he would have been there in the later first round, second round, whatever the case was, because I don't think he was on too many people's radars.
No.
And even if he was, he would have probably still been there. He played, one full year of college football?
I think
at North Carolina?
Games. Yep, 13 games.
So, that does actually show you what he can do. However, 2 years would have been better. 3 years would have been great. Yeah, all kinds of film on him. So, I definitely think that Phillips, he definitely should step down. If Pace moves up to the president of operations and things like that, as long as he's completely 100% hands off, there's a strong possibility. But who are you going to get for coach?
Just in charge of parking.
Well, I would probably put him as an assistant.
I honestly heard, honest to God, I heard rumblings that they're talking with Chris Conte to come in as a defensive backs coach.
For what?
For the Bears. They're saying to coach the
He's
Bears.
fighting off stiff arms.
Are they going to pay him more than what they paid Olin Kreutz?
Olin
Kreutz?
Wow.
Bobby Lobby's paying more than him.
The Jags were looking bad, and then the Bears said, "Hold my beer." $15 an hour. What?
It's not even good beer. They're like, let's hand me my Milwaukee's Best or something. My Schlitz.
Hold my Schlitz malt liquor.
Well, anyways, who's going to win the Bear game today?
Vikings.
Oh. So here's the interesting part about that. So you do have a 2-game winning streak with the Bears. However, you have Matt Nagy, who of course may be his last game. Here's the other thing: Mike Zimmer he's on the hot seat too, and they're looking to possibly even switch him out at the end of the season. Now, if by chance the Vikings come in and actually blow out the Bears, you never know.
Well,
are you gonna pull another thing like you did last week?
Yeah. Why are we talking about non-playoff teams again?
Because
we're talking about your schedule. Oh wait, sorry.
The Vikings are rumored to let him go after this game. That's
the rumor.
I think
even if he wins, I think he's gone.
Oh, with Zimmer? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just read something that all reports are saying Zimmer's fired. They're going to keep their Spielman, the GM.
Well, think about that though. The Vikings are like, already, we're going to make a move. We've decided it's going to happen. The Bears are like, maybe I don't.
They want to keep their little saying of "We've never fired a person in the regular season."
Yeah.
Hey, if Nagy goes over to Minnesota and Zimmer goes over to Chicago, we'll have this conversation next year too.
You'd be happy with that if you're a Bears fan.
What? No.
You would be ecstatic. Zimmer's a step up from Naggy.
A loaf of bread is a step up from Naggy. At least you can mold them into something that you can use. But think about it. It's just one of those things. Your offense is going to be. It's going to be interesting.
I have a question.
Cousins is coming back from COVID.
I mean, you guys can comment too. But so, as a Bears fan, is the offseason your most favorite time because you can actually be like hopeful before reality sets in that you guys just suck another year?
Honest to God, as a Bucs fan, it always was.
That doesn't even deserve a response. Yes, kind of, but that doesn't even deserve a response. Now you got Dalvin Cook and you got Montgomery for the Bears.
I mean, we talked about the Bears more than most stations, networks ever. Talked about them all season. The last 10 minutes. Is there anything else we need to hit on with the Packers or
no?
You really wanted to cut somebody short.
No, I just want to make sure Brian got to say his piece before Andy kept going on.
Hopefully the decision to start the starters for the first half works out and not, become a complete disaster and lose somebody. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But
I got to tell you, I'm really hoping Aaron Rodgers finishes this game, like the entire game.
Okay.
Just because you can't put Jordan Love out there. You're going to put him out there, and then you're going to have the whole QB controversy in Green Bay again because Aaron Rodgers' feelings are going to get hurt that he's not getting the love he needs from this coaching staff and the front office. He's already talking about boycotting the Super Bowl. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think he shot that down pretty quick when that came out.
No, when the Packers lose the first round, then that's him.
Yeah, that's when he'll boycott it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, that is him boycotting it. That's what I was getting at. I'm glad Andy caught that quick.
Yeah, there's not too much cheese going on up here, but
you need sleep staying up thinking of those jokes.
No, not really. They'll come, my brilliance. No, really. But we'll see how it goes. The Bears have a huge laundry list of injuries as well as the Vikings. They have a little bit of a, but we'll see how it goes.
Do you play that game just to get backups reps, see what they can put on film, see if you can get some trade value for people? I mean, is it one of them games or is it just try to win for the coach?
It might be one of those, a little bit of both, really, because if you have both Zimmer and Nagy going to be losing their jobs at the end, and they're, I want to say, on the more popular side in the locker room, you of course want to go out on a high note. So this actually might end up being actually a pretty good game. Everybody's of course picking the Vikings to win at home, which is understandable, especially with the amount of you've got Dalvin Cook, of course, who's going to be, your workhorse in your offense, and you have Akeem Nicks for the Bears, who's out with ankle injury, I believe. That could be a good thing for the Vikings, that's for sure.
Who's starting at quarterback for the Bears?
We have the injured Andy Dalton, who will be starting. Justin
the
Fields,
Red-
of course.
Is this the Red Rockets' last game?
Ooh, I don't know. I think he's still got a couple years and a couple of gajillion dollars on his contract, so that's a strong possibility that he'll be coming back. But you never know what the new coach, new GM, have to think about it. But we'll see. Let's see. So the Packers, of course, are probably going to end up beating the Lions, which I think that's going to be a better game than you might think. And the Vikings will probably end up squeaking out against the Bears. Probably.
By like 2 or 3.
By at least 2, maybe 3.
Touchdown.
Maybe a close 1.
Touchdown.
So I think we're going to be shooting off to the east. We going compass wise?
Oh, we can go east.
Lee.
Can't wait for this.
Mr. Stout. Take us away, sir.
Oh, well.
Get on the high horse. We beat the backups.
Who's talking again? Hey, here we go. So the Cowboys already played last night, beat the Eagles, who set most of their starters. Let Kelsey get his 122nd, whatever, consecutive start at center. And they waited till Smith got his record to beat Deshaun Jackson's record for rookies. And then they pretty much started sitting everybody. So Cowboys decided to keep the starters in, which kind of blew my mind a little bit of why we kept them in, 1 for so long, or 2, even why. But, McCarthy, so, he's got a mastermind plan for something. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
That's to the playoffs.
I mean, I get why he's trying to do it, but at some point, like, we look like crap anyways. I mean, we got Connor Williams back in, getting all the penalties for us again. So, I mean, I know what they're trying to do, but, I mean, Parsons was out. We had people out, but luckily nobody got hurt. So,
what blew my mind is if you're out there trying to send a message of, like, we're this well-tuned, oiled machine, to the other playoff teams and stuff, I would be out there, and if I'm scoring against backups and stuff, I would just be walking off the field like it's business as usual. I wouldn't be celebrating like I just won the Super Bowl because I scored against the third-string defense. I mean, it was I know. I literally thought that Dak was going to blow out his elbow, doing his fist pump, because he was all excited that he scored against the guy who just suited up today for the first time.
And it shouldn't be him celebrating like that. It should have been the other, like, second and third string guys that were celebrating like crazy that haven't scored at all. I mean, I think they had the most people score. A different number of people score. I think it was like 22 this year. Different people scored.
Never fails.
I mean, what? I know. I caught up on that one.
But
I was happy that they let the backups and a lot of them scored, but I mean, look, we just move on to the playoffs and we go from there.
Who is the backup quarterback in Dallas right now?
And I froze. Fucking.
Who?
He's back.
Yeah, I froze again. This country internet. Cooper Rush, buddy. He played last night. So
Right on.
I mean,
I
like Cooper Rush. I like him as a backup, but that's what he is a backup to come in for a little while and do what he needs to do. So,
Right on. Yeah, I didn't know because Dak's been healthy this year. I mean, you're really risking it playing him that late in the game. I thought it was kind of crazy.
What I thought, what's interesting about it,
games though. I mean,
Yeah, what's interesting about the whole thing is like McCarthy back, I can't remember what year it was. The Packers were 15-1. They finished 15-1, and I remember the last game of the year they played Flynn, and he threw the 6 touchdown passes against Detroit. Well, the Giants came in for their matchup after the Packers got the bye and stuff like that, and the Giants came in and beat the living hell out of them. And McCarthy was criticized from that day. Why did you play your starters that last week to keep the momentum going? And he had no answer for that. So I'm thinking he's having flashbacks from Green Bay because he wanted to prove that I learned my lesson. You know, even though you are putting your stud at risk. You know, if they lose, Cowboys would have lost Prescott or anybody. I mean, that would have just demoralized that team, you know, going into the playoffs. Yeah, they would be in the playoffs, but how's the team going to feel about that? Saying, hey, coach, we really didn't need to play this game, you know?
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, especially when we already lost Michael Gallup the week before to his ACL, which he's done
out
for the season. So, I mean, Cedric Wilson's looking good. I mean, but again, I don't know. They decided to do what they did. We came out unscathed, fortunately, but I think it was a good idea. So, I mean, it is what it is. We beat up on second and third strings, whatever. We won a football game. That's the other coach's decision not to play everybody.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this now.
So,
let's say, for example, you got Dak Prescott, of course, gets injured or whatever the case is. You can actually trade for another proven starter, for example, like a Kyle Trask, for example.
Seriously, Deshaun Watson's out there.
They're not gonna do that. They're gonna keep
You really
Cooper
want
Rush.
him, though?
No.
I mean, Deshaun Watson is sat for an entire year. Is he? Nobody knows if he's even in game shape.
You can't pick him up right now anyway.
Not to mention the legal stuff that is possibly coming with him.
He ain't coming. So, I mean, look, they look good. We move on now. We wait to see who we end up playing if we end up with whatever seed, because we could end up with a 2, 3, or 4 seed.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
God, you're the 3 seed.
The Broncos just fired Fangio. Just happened. Sorry. Not that it matters in the NFC, but it's already starting. So Bears fans, there's hope.
That's where it gets kind of interesting because and of course, you know, with your beloved Raiders over here, there's a possibility that Harbaugh might go out there. A possibility might end up in Chicago with Fangio. Who knows?
He's staying in Michigan and
He's staying in Michigan, dude. He's not leaving. I'm telling you. I keep telling you.
Money
he's not
talks,
leaving.
man.
So who's the team that got today?
Yeah, let's talk about your other barn burner of your conference games.
Who's the team?
I ain't even worried about what Washington's playing the Giants. Whoopee. That's going to bring in the ratings. Might as well watching the Bears versus the Lions play. I mean, they're not playing for nothing. I mean,
that's 6 games out of your season. What are you talking about?
Or how would you like to say Sunday?
The only breaking news is the Giraffe's not playing. He's out. Glennon for the Giants, he's done. So they're going to have their third string quarterback in for the Giants. So Washington will squeak one out, I guess. So, I mean, I really don't want to talk about it because it's pointless at this point.
This is the last game as the Washington football team. This is big.
It is.
Yes.
This is big.
Their logo kind of looks like the new logo looks like they stole it from the Vegas Knights, in my opinion.
I think they leaked it, some stupid one just to do it. I don't really care.
There's no way to keep something like that secret. You know, they're making banners and stuff for the stadium, and those people working in those plants that are making that stuff are like, "Oh, hey, the team's going to be this."
Yeah.
Like you're not paying off people.
What else you got for us, Stout?
Yeah, I didn't. That was it, dude. I was going to go under 10 minutes. Washington plays the Giants. Washington wins. The Giants blow. Washington sucks. I don't really want to talk about it. My
All
team
right.
won last night. I mean, the
I'm
two
afraid that
playoffs.
you're the 3 seed. That's all I
The
gotta
only,
say.
the only two teams that mattered was last night. Cowboys won. Eagles are in the playoffs.
The Eagles
I
didn't
mean-
care about last night.
No, they're in the
It's like
playoffs. What Dallas
right.
is in the playoffs? They didn't really care. I mean, you got two teams at the bottom of the barrel. They're fighting for something. I mean, I think
Right.
who the hell cares?
They're
I mean,
professionals,
watch
man. You
New
got to
York.
play.
I'll bring this up though because I thought this was interesting. A fan is suing the Giants and the Jets. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
For
that's
claiming the
freaking
New York.
hilarious, and I think they should change their name to the New Jersey
He's asking
Giants.
for he's asking for like
$6 billion.
$4 billion.
$6 billion.
in
It's awesome.
punitive
I think it's
damages.
funny.
Like,
Well, I
that's
mean, I think it's
bullshit.
funny. I mean, I know teams go everywhere else. You know, they're not actually they're in the metropolitan area. I mean, the 49ers are, Dallas is.
49ers are the furthest from the city that they claim.
I know, but it's still the metropolitan area.
It's not
New
a
York
different
went
state.
to a different. Nick, it's in a different state. How are you still called the New York Giants? And I get why that fan's doing it. I find it amusing as hell. I hope he wins, and they got to change their name. I think it's funny as hell.
They either got to change their name or move and pay the higher taxes to be in actual New York.
Yep.
Right.
The
Hey,
Granite
man,
Stadium goes up in flames.
I'm
All
going
right,
to kick
you're
us to the south
You're
here.
upsetting Sidoris. He wants to talk about his Bucs.
Actually, I was going to say I'm going to kick us to the south here because the only game that really matters today is that terrible team, the Golden Red and the West. So I'll cover the Bucs, Saints, Falcons. Oh yeah, Bucs, Bucs, Panthers, Saints, Falcons, and I'll kick it right to
Today, Junior.
Jerry.
I took the button.
All right. Well, unfortunately, unlike Stout, I am going to talk about the other game in my conference that sort of matters, not really, maybe a little bit. We got the Saints going against the Falcons. Saints need a win to get into the playoffs, and they need the Niners to lose. Basically, scoreboard watching for the Saints today. A lot of players are out for them. Their tackle, Armstead, their corners, Roby and Williams are all out. The Falcons' only player of key interest that is questionable is Kyle Pitts. Saints have won the last 2 or 3. I don't see any real reason why they don't win this week. I'm hoping the Falcons keep Cordero Patterson healthy. That way he can come to Tampa and play next year. So, I mean, that's all I really got for that game.
Why isn't the Bucs or why aren't the Bucs? I guess is the proper English. Why aren't the Bucs entertaining T.O.?
He's 50 years old.
I just saw a video of him running routes yesterday. The guy's out there still tearing it up. I think Brady's just jealous. He doesn't want to be – Brady just wants to be the only story of the old guy playing.
Come on, man. Dude hasn't played in 10 years.
Come on, man. That's exactly right.
10 years. 10 years.
The
But
guy
anyway,
still towards you.
I'm fat and old.
Okay. Haven't played the same amount of time, right?
No, God, I played a lot longer than that.
If it makes you feel any better, you're not terribly attractive either.
I do with what I can. But anyway, so honestly, the Saints need the Niners to win.
I need Niners.
I don't know if they can do it.
No,
They have won 5.
The Saints needs the Rams to win.
Or Rams to win. You're right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they can do it because the Niners have won the last 5 times against the Rams. So they got their number. I just think it's kind of like the Saints with the Bucs. The Saints have the Bucs number. They have a way to beat them. They stick to the script and they beat them. I really think you're going to see the same thing in San Francisco today, or in LA today, right? They're not in San Fran. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go to the game that everyone cares about and the only game that matters in the week: the Bucs versus the Panthers. Honestly,
All right,
I'm not that excited.
Let's
What's
take it
that,
to the West now. Let's take it to the West now.
I'm honestly not that excited for this game.
You had enough time on that already. Let's go to the
He
West.
just keeps going. He just keeps going.
There's some key things we do need to discuss.
No, they're not.
Unfortunately, Antonio Brown is one of them.
Why?
I want
Why
your
talk
opinion
about
on
it?
this, and this is the only time we're going to talk about it.
Oh God,
Do you think he plays in the league again?
no.
Absolutely not.
Maybe if he stays healthy in game shape for 2-3 years, some team who's desperate, like Brady's next team, will pick him up.
I say the Bucs bring him back again next year.
He's not going to go play in a cold weather.
What is it that
I'm
we
being
see?
serious. I mean, he's hella talented, but he is the biggest cancer, and he's a cancer to himself more than anybody else.
What was
if
that?
he's that talented, what did he do for the Bucs this year? He didn't even have that many like huge plays.
Because he gets in his own way and can't stay on the field. That's why he's a cancer to himself.
Okay, well, there you go.
He's not going.
He didn't even want to bring him in the first place, but Brady talked for him.
Right, you're right, 100%. So
Well, that's what. Well, that right there is where you're going with the. Does he play again? I mean, if he breaks, he Brady and put all the trust in him to, keep a level head. Just stay out of trouble. We'll get through this, whatever. And now AB's already badmouthed Tom Brady. I mean, it's
he burnt that bridge.
yeah. I mean,
he's gonna throw everybody under the bus to try to get himself back to, claiming he has an ankle injury, but he's doing jumping jacks as he runs off the field.
But that's my thing with him is he definitely has a mental disorder. Like he's chemically imbalanced. But I think his biggest issue is he's a pure narcissist.
yes.
He endears himself to people when he needs them. And as soon as they become not needed, he burns every bridge he can. He separates himself from everyone and never takes blame for anything. But
He needs to get
I
a hold
think a
of.
lot.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I think a lot of that goes back to when he took that hit from from the Bengals linebacker. Yep, I think that's exactly where a lot of this stuff. I mean, I think he already had those issues, but he kept it under control. But I think after he took that hit, I think he just can't control it no more. I think that's what it comes down to. So,
Well, I
He's
think
not playing
somebody
no more.
needs to reach out to him and give him Brandon Marshall's number, because Brandon Marshall was the same way, but Brandon Marshall got help, and now he's promoting, mental health and stuff like that. You should know Andy when he was with the Bears. I mean, the dude was great until he got in his own head, and next thing you know, he bad-mouthing Cutler and the whole organization on the way out.
right.
Yeah, and I think he started his own foundation and about mental health. So that's why whenever you have like the NFL Cares Week or whatever it is, when they can decorate their shoes, his is that neon green for, of course, mental health awareness. So
Who's the receiver that got kicked out of the league probably 12 times for
Josh Gordon.
smoking pot? Yeah, he needs to go get that guy's agent, because that guy's got brought back into the league even though he broke the rules and everything so many times.
Who's he with right now? Isn't he with the Chiefs?
Kansas City, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't hear much about him, but he's there.
no, and
But
he shouldn't be getting banned either for smoking weed to control himself. I don't get what the point. Why we care about that? I mean, he's doing
Illegal
something that makes
substance,
him.
period.
it's against the rules. I mean, that's what it is. The NFL
I
is
mean,
just
that's the same argument as I should be able to take steroids just to make myself stronger. But it's a
It's for
bad
recovery
substance.
purposes.
It's weed, dude. It's not a big deal.
we get it. All right.
Well, anyways,
Oh, man.
Mike, who's Brady throwing to this week?
But Bucs just activated Cyril Grayson again. They seem to have really good chemistry going. Dude flat out flies. Mike Evans is gonna get his yardage today. They'll probably play Mike Evans first half. He needs 55 for 1,000, first time ever in NFL history, even though it's 18 games or 18
So that's
weeks,
about what,
17 games. What's that?
What is that about? 10 throws to him, Mr. Yak. He's got to get about, what, 10 throws to him to get.
You know what? I
55
think you're
yards?
going to see him just open up the game with the long bomb to him. I really would. I mean, that would make the most sense. You open up your first play of the game, you're going to throw a streak to Mike Evans and see if you can cut it down. And then after that, he's out. But yeah, you got Grayson back. Good chemistry with Brady. Scotty Miller's still out there. He's a little injured. I don't think you'll see Gronk much today. He does have some incentives he needs to reach. They'll probably once again try to play him the first half, get his incentives, get him out. But other than that, there's no real reason for the Bucs. I mean, number 2 seed, it doesn't matter. You got one home game. If you get the number 2 seed, you have 2 possible home games, but you still got to win the first game of the playoffs. So you need everyone healthy. And the Bucs are riddled with injuries. So I wouldn't be surprised they pull starters at half.
I just want the Cowboys to be the number 3 seed.
And we'll get to that right now. I mean, anyone opposed to us discussing Jerry's world?
The best division, the only one that matters.
I mean, does anyone really want to talk about it? No, but they honestly hold the linchpin for the playoffs. I mean, the picture of the playoffs is so foggy right now in the NFC, it's ridiculous. AFC is pretty clear, whereas the NFC, it's all up in the air, and it all hinges
Actually,
on
there's more teams locked in the NFC than there is the AFC.
They're locked in, but they're not seeded.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh look, he's being all smart. The 1 week he doesn't take 375 minutes.
That you good with numbers, Jared?
Sorry, I was caught off guard. I wasn't expecting to talk again for another 30 minutes. I wasn't ready. So, all right. NFC West. Best teams in the division or in the conference. And probably the 2 games that matter the most for the playoffs here. And Stout is just beside himself with some kind of joke he's working up. But all right, we got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seahawks and Cardinals, which is possibly Russell's last game as a Seahawk. So that game's actually kind of interesting because I don't know if they're going to play – if the Seahawks are going to play hard. I mean, with it being Russell's possible last game, Pete Carroll's possible last game. But the Cardinals have a lot at stake as well. If they win, the Cardinals are in the driver's seat to win the division if the Rams lose, which bumps them to a potential – I don't know all the mechanics, but I think they can still get a 3 seed or a 4 seed. I don't believe that they can get up to 2. Now, if the Rams win, the Rams can get up to 2, and they win the division. Put your rings away. Quit acting like you're a winning organization. So then that takes us to the second game, the Niners-Rams, which you mentioned. The Niners have won the last 5 meetings.
Right.
Every time that Garoppolo has started, they've beaten the Rams. Garoppolo is a heavy lean, is what they're calling it, towards starting today. However, a lot of people are saying that they would be fine with Trey Lance starting based on his last outing. There's already been talk going back and forth between the teams of how hard-hitting, and Kittle said body bag game, which if anybody watched the last game of these 2 teams, there was a lot of hard hits, very physical football game, which I believe bodes in San Francisco's favor with the run game. If San Francisco can come out and run the ball like they do, as their game plan, you take Jimmy G basically out of the element, just hand off the ball and average 8 yards a carry, and it's going to be a different ball game. Right now, the Rams are favored 60% to win. I don't really agree with that. I don't know how that's so lopsided. I think that game's a lot closer, if not in the Niners' favor, based on the history. McVay does not play well against Shanahan. That's just proven. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, there's a lot on the line. Niners are getting a lot of guys back. Dre Greenlaw is questionable. Al Shahir, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but the other linebacker is questionable, back off the IR. Tart is back questionable off the IR. A lot of guys coming back, so it'll be interesting on if they actually play them or if they rest those guys. I don't know what you're doing. That's weird.
Andy's sleeping. You're boring him.
So,
But
I mean, with Jimmy G playing in a body bag game, is that worth it, or are they just putting him out there because they figure he's already hurt? If he gets injured,
I mean, if you sit back and you think about it, right? Jimmy's going to play if he can. If they allow him to play, he's going to play. It's his career. I mean, this game is his career, right? Yeah, if he loses, then he loses. Okay, but if he doesn't play, this is everybody's saying he's being dealt somewhere else, right? So
100%.
He's going to be dealt with. Oh, he didn't play his last game because he's injured, or is he going to go out there and carried his team into a playoff?
I mean, I look at it this way: if I'm the Niners, right, and the chances are I either play the Bucs or the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Again,
they can play they can play up to 4 different teams.
No, I get that, but the two most possible scenarios is the Bucs and the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's Bucs and Cowboys, actually.
Really? See, I thought it was Rams. Yeah. But anyway, even given that, you got Bucs, Cowboys, right? Bucs struggle against a mobile quarterback. Jimmy G's not a mobile quarterback. Cowboys are a better defense against a pocket passer.
I mean, when you look at it, though, like the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Niners offense isn't set up to have this quarterback that wins games. The Niners offense is set up to have a game manager hand the ball off and make the small amount of throws that are necessary.
Right. They play cold weather football.
I mean, it's that's their offense. So they were talking about it yesterday. They don't need Jimmy G to come in and win the game. They need him to come in and manage the game, which he's good at. He's good at managing a game, being reliable, and as long as he can throw the ball to the 15-yard mark, which is basically his longest throw that he ever makes. That's the one thing they were praising Trey Lance for, is that he took the top off of defenses by being able to throw the deeper pass. He did it twice. Like, it wasn't like we had this deep pass game now, but he did it twice on crossing patterns where Deebo Samuel broke a tackle and took it 50-something yards. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who comes out. They haven't announced anything for certain yet, but everybody's saying that Jimmy G is probably going to play.
Yeah, I don't
see
Jimmy G's going to play, but I honestly think that the Niners are better suited in the playoffs with Trey Lance.
I don't know.
After today, what's the point of playing Jimmy? I mean, if you really think his injury is not that big a deal, then play him. But I mean, Trey Lance is he's a better athlete.
He's a better athlete. The only thing is that he's young and he doesn't have as much experience. I mean, similar to what we were talking about Trubisky, he's only got the 1 year.
Right.
At a D2 school. I mean, granted, it was North Dakota State, but he's green, and that's unpredictable in the NFL. You don't know how that's going to turn out, but I mean, yeah, everybody's on the bandwagon of Trey Lance, but I just don't think you jump off the Jimmy Garoppolo horse until it dies. Honestly, I mean, the guy's a decent quarterback. He's got the record to prove it. He's 2 feet away from being the Super Bowl MVP 2 years ago. Yeah, it's all true.
Big shout out, big shout out to North Dakota State. I think they won their 9th national championship.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And I think technically it was like 1 AA.
Well, I'm going to say something I normally don't say is let's go Niners, dude. I need the Niners
Oh,
to win.
absolutely. And we're all
go
back
Niners.
in the Niners today.
Let's go Niners. Let's go Seattle, and let's go Pampers. Let's go. That's what I need.
Yeah, I don't think the Seahawks are gonna beat the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are gonna be ramping up for the playoffs, getting some guys back. And
I agree. I agree on that. I agree that Arizona is going to have something to prove today, and they want to show that they're for real. Because after that, after their hiccup, they really. I mean, when they went in the, that
we all know
Jerry's World, I think they went in there and,
something like that.
Cowboys
yeah.
and
one of them actual games on the Cowboys schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't
I think they proved something, and I think today is going to be one of those other games where it's just going to be like they want to get the momentum going and keep going.
They want to play at home.
Yeah, that too.
I mean,
and then like in your game, Jerry, I completely agree with you on the Garoppolo, Lance thing. This is, I mean, granted, I understand what Mike's saying because he, Trey Lance is a much more mobile quarterback. But I think in this case, especially because of the fact that the Niners basically have a trade chip if they're going to move on from Garoppolo. If Garoppolo plays well, today, manages the game, that is only upping what they can get for him. And they need
if they keep him for another year. I mean,
or that too. And I mean, it's, I mean, granted, yeah, a mobile quarterback would be a little better, especially with what Sidoris was saying, the defenses that you could be possibly playing in the playoffs, they don't fare well against a mobile quarterback. And if they could, if there was a way they can integrate an offense for Trey Lance to play along with Garoppolo, that'd be obviously ideal, but you don't want to do that. But I mean, Garoppolo, this is kind of like the all-in moment for him.
Absolutely.
It's I'm playing. I'm going to show everybody that I can bring a team to the playoffs, and I may be hurt, but I'm still going to do it.
It's a test drive.
Yeah, I mean, this is his career right here. I mean, I don't think. Here, put it this way. Let's say he doesn't play because he's injured. You think a team picks him up as a starting role?
I mean, look at the teams that need quarterbacks. There's no
one
really.
I don't think a team does.
Well, Chicago definitely could, but they don't. They have a quarterback, right? Jimmy G would make sense to go back home to Chicago, but they have a quarterback, so that's out. Well, then you got to look. Texas, Houston doesn't have a solid quarterback answer.
Nobody knows what the hell Texas is doing. The whole state.
The Broncos. I mean, they don't have a solid quarterback answer. He could start in both situations there.
You see him going to Seattle?
I'm just saying, do you think somebody takes him?
Or absolutely. And I think they take him because of what you stated previously. He's got an agent. I mean, Jerry, I know you think you're his agent, but he's got someone that's going to bring all those things up every time they go to talk with him. Every time.
Oh, no. His record proves that. I mean, they put up the stat all the time on the Niner games, if you ever watch them. They always put the stat up of the Niners with Garoppolo and without Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And it's black and white. It's ridiculous. So
that's what I'm saying. But it's a test drive today for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's the Mustang sitting in the used car lot that looks like it's got a little wear and tear on it. And you got to see what it does. And I think that's all they're doing. I think they're just trying to get his value up. Because come playoffs, you're not going to risk a quarterback getting injured unless you have a solid plan behind him. I mean, would you rather put out Trey Lance and have Jimmy G as a backup, or would you rather put out Jimmy G and have Trey Lance as the backup?
I'd rather go with Jimmy G. I think he puts a better team on the field. I mean, he has the locker room. I know that. He's got the locker room behind him. That's the other thing that they were talking about is that last week Trey Lance was able to win over some guys, but all week everybody's been talking about, oh, we think Jimmy's going to play. All the other players, they all want Jimmy to play, and
Because he distributes the ball.
well, and he's the leader of the team. I mean, he's the game manager through and through. So that's the only thing. I get it that Trey Lance is a mobile quarterback, but Kyle Shanahan's offense isn't a mobile quarterback offense. That's the weird thing of when they went out and got him. I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kyle Shanahan is the guru of offense. Like, don't get me wrong. He's going to be able to flip it, figure out an offense that works for his quarterback. But Andy, we're sorry that we're boring you. The playoff teams are talking now. So you just
I just have one question with all the messages and stuff like that you said about Jimmy with this and that and the other. What's he having for breakfast? Figured you would know that.
He eats 2 white eggs.
yeah. He has,
Over easy with hash browns? With a side with
playoff food. Playoff food.
So, I mean, what are the odds? You said 60% in favor of the Rams.
That's what they're calling right now.
So that would be what? They're favored by 9. Do you have the odds out there?
I think the odds was 3.5.
Yeah, the
3.5.
spread
So
is 3.5.
They're getting the hook for being at. They're getting the 3 for being at home, and they're getting a hook. I would take that. I think the Niners pull this one out.
I think the Niners pull it out too. I mean, so far this year, the Niners have played their best when their backs are up against the wall. You can't
There's
get
a
any
joke for
more.
Jerry, but I'm not going to use it. So, we ready to give us all our picks? Kick it to the pick 6.
Let's do it.
Well, who we got kicking it off?
Well, you know who kicks it off. Worst to first, right?
Why change? Come on.
Why change the order much at all?
First and last, don't change. I mean, come on.
Let's all do the little dance and let's get it over with.
All right, we're going to go Colts over the Jags. We've got the Titans over the Texans. Bills.
Hey, wait. Hold on. The Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in like 7 years.
I understand that, but they also
They
have
need
something.
to win today.
They need to win today.
I just
It's
thought
a
I'd go out
clown
there.
game. Come on. All the fans are showing up as a clown.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll start again. Colts over Jags, Titans over the Texans, Bills over the Jets, the Buccaneers over the Panthers, that football team in Washington over the Giants, and I got the Cardinals over the Seahawks.
Right on. I think I'm next, right?
Actually, it's a tie between you and Stout.
I'll let you go first, Mike. Go ahead.
All right.
Whoever wants to.
No
hold you
big
up.
whoop here. I do think the Colts go in and win in Jacksonville. I have the Vikings over the Bears. I think Matt Nagy's lucky he makes it past halftime this game.
Wait, you don't have the Colts?
I do have the Colts over the Jags.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
Titans
have to figure
over
this out as we
Texans.
go, I guess, because it's different than what you typed.
You must have messed something up there, Jared.
All right.
Titans over Texans, Bills over Jets, Cardinals over Seattle, Pats over Finns, Vikings over Bears, Colts over Jags. And I got the Steelers winning today, but it's not in my pick 6.
Okay, so I got Colts, Titans, Bills, Cardinals, Pats, Vikings.
Yep.
You're not taking the Dolphins.
Did I say I took the Dolphins?
I don't know. You might have typed Patriots over Dolphins, and I just wrote them both.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I got Pats over Finns.
Okay. All right. My bad. Sorry.
All right.
Rough morning.
All right, that was a good pick. That was a good pick 6 there, Mike. We'll just copy that and There's my picks.
You're just going to guarantee that you guys both get third?
Yeah, why not?
We're gonna lock it
That's usually what Jerry does.
Hey, now.
I'm going to take the Colts, take the Titans, take the Washington football team. I'm going to take the Packers, the Bills, and the Pats.
All right. Andy.
I actually realized that the Cowboys and Eagles already played yesterday. That was actually my mistake, but I will go ahead and go with the Cowboys. Let's go with the Chiefs over the Broncos. We'll take
That's a
the
bold
Bills.
pick. You really think the Chiefs are going to pull it out?
Yep.
It's close. I'm thinking it's going to be a close game all the way through the first half.
Yep, I still think the Chiefs are going to win. Let's see. We'll instead of the Cowboys over the Eagles, which I think I should go ahead and take, I'm going to replace that with the Bills. Green Bay over the Lions because, of course, the Lions. That's going to be an interesting game. It really is. Colts over Jacksonville because Jacksonville is they're Jacksonville. Washington over the Giants, the greater New York, New Jersey Giants. And, of course, Bucs over the Panthers. And, of course, Jerry's going to have the same exact ones.
Your 6th team.
I thought that was my 16. Yeah, the Bills.
It's only 5. I got Bills, Packers, Colts, Washington, Bucs.
Chiefs. Yeah, Colts. Colts over Jacksonville.
Oh my God.
Clearly what we have here is a failure to communicate.
You can't take the Chiefs.
Those are horrible picks.
Sounds like the Bears front office.
Yeah.
Let's promote them. Let's promote them.
Well, all right. Well, George.
Okay, I got Bills, Packers, Colts, Washington, and Bucs. You cannot have the Cowboys or the Chiefs.
Why can't I have the
Andy, he's not going to let you. He complains about it all the time. I try to do it all year. He won't let you do it.
I want the Chiefs.
Okay, so who's your 6th team?
What?
Ladies
Seriously? Did they already
Ladies
play?
and gentlemen, Ryan Pace.
Oh my God. Starting to make as much sense as the old lady who runs the Bears.
Oh, sorry, I'm not Jimmy G. I can't, I can't manage the game.
Just give him the Bears.
All right, we'll go with that. We'll go with the Bears.
Okay,
George.
all right. My God. Been pulling teeth over here.
Yeah, I got your teeth right here.
All right, so my picks to win the season, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Chiefs because I'm allowed to do that because I make the list.
Oh, you can't have those. You can't have that team.
All right, so I got the Packers over the Lions, Cardinals over the Seahawks, Colts beating the Jaguars, beating the Panthers, and Bills beating the Jets.
We didn't get that.
Huh?
We didn't get that. You cut out.
Okay.
Oh,
You guys will see the list when I post it later.
All right.
Oh.
Anything
So-
else you gentlemen want to cover?
Hold on, wait. By taking the Bears, you've actually given yourself a chance, Andy. You can catch me statistically. So you have 2 games that are different. So you could tie.
You were seriously going to go with the same ones that I picked again
No, I didn't.
to ensure that you had some.
You have Washington and the Bears. I would never
Now
pick
I
those
really
teams.
want the Bears to win.
I would never pick those teams.
See, look, when we all started this, my whole goal was just to beat Sador's. And now I got a chance.
And
That's
now
all I
you're
care
tied going into the last week.
about. Yeah, I know.
Way to cut it close, Cowboys.
He's only wanting to beat me because his Cowboys couldn't. Just saying.
There's other reasons. There's other reasons why I want to beat you, Mr. Steele's tackles.
I don't know the way you said that. You gotta think about context when you say certain things.
I don't. Nope. We'll be all right.
Anyway.
Context.
All right. Well, winner of this wins the season.
Well, it's pretty much just you or Andy.
You guys are only 3 games back.
But we've picked a lot of the same games, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, damn. I hate when that happens.
Right?
Yeah.
Statistically, I can't lose.
Oh, did I pick exactly what you picked? Sorry.
I'm just upset. You know, Brian's down there just in the basement again by himself, enjoying his little cup of coffee. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but here we go.
Hey, you're
Cheese
within
tray.
reach. He could catch you if you lost all your picks.
Oh. Andy
Getting
got called
ridiculed.
out. Oh.
Damn.
Don't worry, I'll talk to her in just a few seconds.
Wow.
All right, gentlemen.
Oh,
I
man.
have to agree.
Today.
Thought they were horrible. Who picks the Bears?
Don't forget, everybody, share, like, and share, and hopefully we can surpass the 1,000 mark this week.
That'd be awesome.
We
Yes.
got
Yeah,
any
buddy.
announcements this week?
What
When-
Jimmy say? Jimmy G say?
Oh God.
Well, when we close the show, damn it, my TV's going. You can't tell. Anyway. $4.
Cowboys suck. Go Niners.
Wrong.
Who's the producer?
Yeah, he's terrible.
Cowboys suck.